Friends, are you planning a Leh Ladakh bike trip and wondering if you can take your relative's bike or a friend's bike to Leh Ladakh? Or are you in doubt if you will be allowed to enter Ladakh or do any sightseeing on such bikes? Well, in my previous videos of this series, I've already talked about how confusing Ladakh Bike Rental Union rules are. I've also talked about various restrictions that they put on these outside rental Leh bikes. So, if you have not checked any of those videos, you can check one of them over here. With all these Ladakh Bike Rental Union rules, sometimes it gets very confusing for the people who want to take their friend's bike or relative's bike to Leh Ladakh road trip. So, today in this Express FAQ series on traveling to Ladakh, I'm going to talk in detail about the rules which are related to taking the friend's bike or a relative's bike on a Leh Ladakh road trip. So friends, let's get started. Well friends, if I come straight to the point, then yes, of course you can take a bike under your friend's name or a relative's name on a Leh Ladakh road trip in most cases. Why do I say in most cases? Well, you may already know by now watching my videos that outside rented bikes or motorcycles are not allowed for any sightseeing in Leh Ladakh. That means you can travel on such outside Leh rental bikes or motorcycles to Leh on Manali Leh Highway or Srinagar Leh Highway, but for any sightseeing to places like Nubra Valley, Pangong Tso or Sumori Lake, you will need to again rent a bike in Leh. And sometimes due to all these rules, there are some tensions that boil up between different bike rental unions from Leh, Manali and Delhi. In some years, Manali Bike Rental Union will block the entries of Leh bikes beyond Kelong, and in retaliation, Leh Bike Rental Union will block all the entries of outside bike at Sarchu. It is not a norm and such things happen season over season, and in some season, things are very cool enough. All these tensions causes extra stir or more rigorous checking in Ladakh for bikers to find out which bikes are rental bikes and which are not. So there is much more scrutiny during these tension years which can cause more hassles. And all this scrutiny is because of the fact that unlike taxis or rental cars which have either yellow plate or a black number plate, rental bikes do not have any such indicators or norms. So the Leh Bike Rental Union guys have set up checkposts to randomly check some bikes in case they find something fishy with some biker groups. Hence, in general, if genuinely the bike is a private bike and belongs to your friend or a relative, you will be mostly okay for taking it to Ladakh trip. However, when you take a relative's bike or a friend's bike, then you should always carry an NOC document from them. The NOC document should state that the bike is for private use only. Secondly, he or she is the owner of the bike with RC number or DL number or copy of it. And thirdly, he authorizes you with your DL number to ride this bike personally for this Leh Ladakh road trip. This NOC document will be very helpful in case someone stops you and objects that the RC is not under your name. Notarization of this document is not mandatory, but it will not cause any harm if you do so. But friends, please note that in any case, solving the matter amicably is highly recommended unless you want to go into a struggle and spoil the rest of the vacation and the money for the trip. Do not get into any kind of tussle with these rental union guys, and in case they are not allowing it, better go back to Leh and rent a local Leh bike and do the further sightseeing in Ladakh. Having said all that, if you are taking a private bike, you should not be afraid at all. As long as you carry that NOC document and can prove that the bike is a private bike for real, you should not have any issue at all while doing sightseeing in Ladakh. Now talking about if there are any kind of special tips to minimize the chances of your bike being not checked, well, it depends upon various factors including your luck and above all how much tensions are going on between various bike rental unions. But yes, many a times I have seen the checking is mostly targeted to bikers in groups or especially the large groups as they draws more attention, and as well as the probability of having a mixed batch of outside rental bikes and private bikes is much more in such large groups. So if you are a couple of riders or a solo bike rider, the chances of being checked are very less and getting away with this rule is much more higher. Well, now what about leaving early or late night to avoid this checking? Well, I'm sure this thought must have come across your mind and you must be thinking, what if I leave early morning hours or late night before these checkposts are set up? Again, like I said before, if you have a private bike, you should not worry about this checking at all. But to be frank, yes, you might get away with this checking if you are leaving early or late nights before these checkposts are set up. However, you will have to time both of your journeys, like going to Nubra Valley or Pangong Sua and then coming back to Leh as well in such early hours or late hours. And this also means two things. Firstly, you will miss all the sightseeing on the way because you will be riding in the dark, and secondly, in the dark it is not recommended to ride at all, or it is not safe at all, especially in the shoulder months when black ice is very common on the roads in Ladakh. Even with all this, if some bike rental guy catches you up there or spots you on any sightseeing places in Ladakh, you may get into trouble with them. Again, it will depend upon how you will tackle the situation, and of course, playing that ignorance card can always work out. So friends, this was all about if you can take your friend's bike or relative's bike on a Leh Ladakh road trip or not. In my next video, I'll talk about how you can take your own bike on a Ladakh trip by train or courier it from other parts of India. So stay tuned and I'll see you in my next video. Now in the end, if you found this video helpful, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in case if you need any help or have any questions on your upcoming trip to the Himalayas, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to help you out right away. Till then my friends, Jule, and please keep our Himalayas clean.